health is not the absence of symptoms. Health is ease in the midst of chaos. That's what health is. It's your ability to go up against things, deal with things, get hit with things physically, nutritionally, emotionally, and still stay the course.
Hey, in a world where the narrative of health is often dictated by prescriptions and procedures, the visionary stands out from the crowd, challenging the status quo with a message of hope and empowerment. Dr. Howard Cohn, I'm so excited. He's a maverick in the realm of natural medicine. He invites us to open our minds, right, to a different kind of healing, one that's been quietly transforming lives, but is only now gaining the recognition it deserves. For far too long, we've been told that health is a complex puzzle that can only be solved by the latest drugs or technology or going to a specific MD. But Dr. Cohn has witnessed firsthand the profound capabilities of the human body. God made an amazing body. It's so complex and so wonderful. And the capabilities are often overlooked and underutilized in our modern healthcare system. So in this episode, we peel back the layers, right, of misconception and explore the intricate dance between the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual aspects of our being. We are so amazing. You'll hear about the innovative techniques that Dr. Cohn employs at the Cohn Health Institute, from quantum neurology to applied kinesiology, and how these methods have helped people reclaim their health against all odds. He's kind of like the last hope or last resort. People have tried everything, and then they try to find somebody to help them, and they end up finding Dr. Cohn, and guess what? He helps them. It's just amazing. This isn't just another health podcast. This is a call to awaken the healer within each of us to recognize the innate wisdom our bodies possess and to harness this knowledge for a life free of pain and filled with potential. As you tune in, keep an open heart, right, and an open mind, and prepare to be inspired by these incredible stories of individuals who've experienced the miraculous. Say goodbye to the idea where you're at the mercy of symptoms, and hello to a new paradigm of health and vitality. Isn't that what we all want? Get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about health as we present to you Unlocking the Body's Healing Power, Dr. Howard Cohn's revolutionary approach. Let's begin this transformative journey together. I know many of you are super busy, right? So instead of waiting to the end of the episode, I wanted to share this real quick. Instead of trying to give you something useless, I'm going to do it different, right? I'm offering you a 3-episode pop-up podcast for absolutely no cost. This exclusive 3-episode private podcast series is packed with more value than many paid programs out there. And getting access to it is a breeze. If you're listening to this on your phone, simply open up your text messaging app and send pain-free, send that text, pain-free, all one word, to 41-PAIN-FREE. That's 417-246-3733. Again, 417-246-3733. If you're not a fan of texting, no problem. Just visit impainfree.com and you can access this private podcast instantly, right? No cost. And it isn't just any podcast series. We call it Beyond Pain, the Triple B Blueprint for a pain-free existence. It's really a treasure trove of secrets, expert interviews, and a resource all aimed at guiding you to live pain-free naturally and faithfully. It's rare and value-packed resources that I'm thrilled to actually give to you. So don't wait, just text pain-free to 417-246-3733 or visit impainfree.com to unlock that exclusive content. Let's get on with it. Hello, it's Rob Rene, your host of the I Am Pain Free podcast, and today is a very special day. I have an amazing doctor, Dr. Cohn, and he is here today, and I'm really excited about it because, I've chatted a number of times, and he's got such an amazing background. He's created a number of products that have helped people. He's got a number of businesses that are just incredible, and so there's so many things and so many areas we could talk about that we're just going to let it flow for a few minutes. But I do want to start off with kind of just letting him tell a little bit about his story, because his story is so unique and different, as everybody's is, but I think you're going to love this story. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride. It's going to be fun. So Dr. Cohn, thank you so much for being here.
Rob, thanks for having me on your podcast. I'm super thrilled to be part of it. It's going to be very exciting. The information you're bringing to people is next level, if you will. And so I'm looking forward to just seeing all the places it's going to go, and honored that you had me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. It's going to be fun. Yeah, well, we got to just get people off of those big pharma drugs, right?
Well,
Not
as you
easy to
know,
do.
the way to do it is to get their body to working the way it was designed, the way God designed it, and
Hey, boy,
help them stay free of all the interferences that have happened, either self-induced or just growing up in this world that we live in these days.
yeah, they're trying to make it more and more difficult as we know. But let's back up and
Yeah.
I want to understand more about what makes you you, right? How did you become the amazing man that you are?
Well, first of all, thank you for that, and it's really on the shoulders of giants, if you will. I've just been blessed to be in the right place at the right time, to learn from people that have done amazing things before me, and then be able to amplify and simplify not just methods, not just products, but treatment protocols. Starting with the end in mind, I run a natural health care center called the Cohn Health Institute in Southern California. That is the oasis of health and wellness that I am in right now. At the end of the day here, everybody's just went home. Yeah, and so it's really from here where everything has been birthed, whether it's the nutritional products that we've taken around the world, and the message, which is the most important thing, which is that your body is designed to heal itself as long as we feed it what God intended us to have, and then keep it protected from the things that, quote unquote, man has allowed to interfere with the original design. So, as we say, you cut your finger, your body heals itself. We don't need to tell it to do that. It has an inner wisdom, an innate intelligence that tells it to do that. And what I love about what you're doing in your message and your products and how they infuse that message is that, so my primary license, how I got into healthcare, is through the field of chiropractic. And a lot of people they have a misunderstanding about what chiropractic's all about. They may see
Did I ever tell
sign.
you about the term quack? Right?
Yeah.
Have you heard about the where that came from? Have you ever
Uh,
researched that?
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
sure you've heard that like ridiculous amounts of time, but
we
when I
talk
was
about,
doing
it's
what
comes from the same people that create the word conspiracy. You know,
yeah,
all you need
exactly.
to do is, when you
Yes.
identify somebody that's making a difference in somebody's life, it's interfering with you, signing them up for, let's say, to think that healing comes from the outside in rather than the inside out, so that you can disempower somebody and then sell them your product, whether it's a drug or a treatment that robs your body of its own wisdom. It can only fail. And that's, I think, really why we're all here today, which is because people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're sick and tired of a system that treats from the outside in rather from the inside out. In the world of chiropractic, the philosophy is what's called ADIO. So if you go back to when it started over 100 years ago, ADIO stands for above, down, inside out. Where does healing come from? Healing doesn't come from a person. Like, I'm not a healer. People go, oh, you're a healer. No, we have a joke. We say God does the healing and the doctor takes the fee, right? So our goal is to, again, remove that interference. So above, down, inside out means there's a universal intelligence. Most of us call it God. Other people have different needs for it. Different cultures have different needs for it. But hopefully at the end of the day, people know that there's something bigger than themselves. And if not, that's really the first place that they set themselves up to have what we call chronic pain, or pain that won't go away. It's really a sign that we've disconnected from a part of ourselves. And so we can be blocked in this universal intelligence where we're connected to something bigger than us, or we can be blocked with our expression to the world, which is our innate intelligence, which is our nervous system, our brain communicating to our body, expressing to the world, getting feedback from the world, and adjusting to it. So if you want to know what health is not the absence of symptoms. Health is ease in the midst of chaos. That's what health is. It's your ability to go up against things, deal with things, get hit with things physically, nutritionally, emotionally, and still stay the course. That determines how healthy you are. It's really how resilient you are. So people think if they don't have, I call it the greatest, Rob, I call it the greatest lie ever told. The greatest lie ever told is that if I don't have a symptom, I'm healthy. That's a lie, right?
Right. You
Let's
think
talk
that,
about
right? Because you're like, hey, I'm totally healthy. I don't have any problems right now. How many times have you heard people say that, right?
all the time. They say I'm fine. So, because let's talk about pain for a second, since this is the title of your podcast. So what I would say is, I say pain is a liar, right? So let's talk about it for a second. So let's talk about something simple, like an ingrown toenail or a abscessed tooth. If you've had either one of them, the pain is so excruciating, but the problem is so little and so simple. But let's say I have cancer. Let's say I have heart disease. Let's say I'm a day away from having a stroke that could kill me or paralyze me for life. What is the pain of that? Well, the majority of the time is absolutely no pain at all. So pain doesn't tell you how healthy you are. We know with the products you designed, the things that you're doing, even the podcast, people are going to look at this title and they go, I have pain, chronic pain that won't go away, right? People don't go to a doctor when they're pain. They go to a doctor if they have pain that won't go away. That's the difference. So on our wall in the office here, we have a sign. In the sign, Rob, it says, the 5 most dangerous words. Maybe it'll go away.
Ah, yeah. Look at that. Love
Things
it.
don't go away. Our body compensates. Does that make sense? So, for example, let's say you're in the ocean and you're just swimming, having a good time. And then you see a shark fin out of nowhere. And you freak out. But then you turn around and you look again, and now you don't see the shark fin anymore. Do you feel better because it looks like it went away? No, it didn't. It didn't go away. It submerged to sonar its friends for the feeding frenzy called your ankles, right? So it didn't go away. So the human body is the same thing. It's going to keep on, because God built our body to survive. God actually built our body to thrive. But most people are not thriving because they have interference. They have interference with their physical body and how they handle it. They have interference with their biochemical nutritional body, with what they're putting in their mouth, right? And then they have interference with their mental, emotional body, what they're feeding their mind with, or what they're allowing to enter their head.
Yeah,
and
the
so
mind's a powerful thing, right?
it is a huge thing. So when someone comes in and they have pain, let's say their knee hurts, right? They have knee pain. So you'd have knee pain because of something that has nothing to do with your knee, physically, nutritionally, emotionally. So if I take the last 3 people that came to our office and their knee hurt, right? So one of them physically basically had a vertebra, their third cervical vertebra, third thoracic vertebra, that was subluxated. Why? Because they were playing pickleball and they kept doing it on one side. It's a unilateral sport. And they torqued themselves and they twisted it. Now all of a sudden my knee hurts because that nerve and that part of their back goes to, let's say, their quad, or the muscle attaches to your knee. Now the muscle's not firing properly. Now it's abnormal tension. Now it's rubbing when they walk or squat or reach for the ball. And now it has inflammation, it has pain. And so that would be a physical reason. It has nothing to do with it. So I could do all this great stuff for my knee, or I can fix where the problem comes from, which is the back, right? Biochemically, every organ in your body through Chinese medicine has different meridians. And so the meridian for your gallbladder is related to this muscle called your popliteus behind your knee on your right. So if I just ate a lot of French fries, or I just ate a lot of ice cream, which is bad fat, and now it just fired my gallbladder negatively, I'm going to have pain between my shoulder blades. And then what's going to happen is this muscle is going to not function properly as a sign my body saying, stop eating all that garbage food. And if I don't pay attention to it, now my knee hurts. Now I can inject it with drugs. I can do all these things to it. I can rub it. I can wear a brace. But that's outside in. That's
Red
not
light
inside
therapy
out.
on it.
You gotta know the cause. You gotta know the cause. And then emotionally, every organ in your body has different emotions related to it, like anger, frustration, aggression, resentment. Those are what they call wood elements. Those affect your liver and your gallbladder. And if you look them up in charts that are 5,000, 6,000 years old, they talk about the first thing you're going to feel is pain in your right knee. So if I'm having repressed emotions, how emotions work, Rob, is what you don't express, you'll repress till it expresses this disease or dysfunction. Like Woody Allen used to say, the comedian actor, I never get angry, I just grow a tumor. I mean, if I don't get my stuff out,
How
stays in,
real is that, right?
yeah, it's very real.
Yeah,
And so
right.
really that's how we look at pain. We take an aerial drone view because really the fundamental, anything could cause anything in the human body. Otherwise, you're just mowing your lawn. If you're taking painkillers, if you're getting injections, if you're doing all this weird physical therapy to work on a problem where, it's like mowing my lawn to get rid of my weeds and thinking my weeds are gone. You're never getting to the root of the problem.
Right, right. That
Yeah.
That's actually so amazing because all you've talked about a number of things that I would definitely want to spend more time with. So we have to do this again and again because we could spend a whole episode on probably 10 different topics that you just discussed. But I do want to ask you a couple of specific questions, and you've already addressed them in a little bit. But I'd love to have a specific conversation about this first one is the intersection of your faith and healing and your mind, right? So in your experience, how does one's faith or spiritual beliefs or power of the mind, right, impact their journey towards healing?
Well, a couple of ways. Number one is you can do anything with your mind. And we have powers that are outside the explanation of our physiology. I'll give you a couple examples. We've seen multiple accounts of car accident, mom, child, the car rolls over, the child is stuck in the back seat, the mom cannot get to the child. Now you have a car that weighs 6,000 pounds. You have a mom that probably can't lift more than 200 pounds without ripping her shoulder out, somehow can lift the car up for the child to get free. We all have heard stories about these things. There are accounts of this happening. How does it happen? We call it a spiritual miracle. It's obviously outside the law of physics and physiology, yet it happened. There's people come in here to our clinic all the time with these very horrific diagnoses, right? And we tell people we don't treat diseases, we treat people who happen to have things that have been named as a disease or a condition. Because again, if you're just treating a bunch of symptoms, all you're doing is like changing the light bulbs when the circuit breaker is out. You have to look at what caused something. So it is so vital to be able to get at these causes of things. So what we would do is there's a group, it's called the Institute of Noetic Sciences. It's called the Science of Knowing. And what they did is they put a book together, big volume like this thick, and it's called Spontaneous Remissions in Annotated Bibliography. And what does that mean? What they did is they took the case studies, the medical case studies, not the crazy chiropractor, the person, the patch guy, or any of that. They're the person, the MDs, right, that did the studies and the researchers. And so they would have a person that came in on Friday, they did a CAT scan, MRI, it's a big tumor, and then they come back on Monday or in a week or two or a month, and it's gone. So, and they didn't do any treatment yet, or they did something, or they went to church and someone prayed over them, or whatever the thing is. And so in the lifespan of the average medical doctor, it may happen like 3 times. So, but everybody else, no, they die or they this or that, or they recover, whatever it is. So through treatment. So there's nothing encouraging to do further research on it. There's no time, energy, and money to do it. So nothing ever happens. They just write it off as some unexplained spontaneous remission. which is the medical term for miracle. And so, but if you get all these sightings together, these research papers or these case studies, and you put them all together in a book, and you're trying to find hope, and everyone around you saying you need to get this treatment, you need to get that chemo, you need to get that radiation, you need to get surgery, you need to take these drugs. You can't not because your doctor says it. Your doctors are never wrong, right? And then so, but you see, you can page through it. I'm like, this person was supposed to die. This person was supposed to die. This person was supposed to die. But somehow it's a miracle. It allows your mind to go, why not me? See, because
Yeah,
everything
that's so
starts with
powerful.
hope, right? We say the
Yeah,
most powerful drug is hopium, right?
that is so
Which
amazing,
is
right?
like,
Wars
have
have been
hope.
fought over that,
Lose
right?
hope, you lose it all. Yeah.
Love that. I love that because, like you said, when people do have hope, right? Then their minds can overcome things that they never thought possible, right? And that's just awesome. I love that. I am a person of faith, so I believe God can heal you with prayer, right? But it still just talks about the power of the mind is so important. Even if you don't believe in God, you can still the power of your mind can still control things, and it's just amazing. So I love that, and that book sounds super intriguing. I'd love to see that. The second question I have for you is, what are some of the most unique or unconventional methods you've encountered or recommended for pain relief specifically? And or how do they differ from mainstream treatments? That's kind of what you do as a business, right?
So everything we do is like not mainstream because you do what everyone else is doing, you get the results they get. And there was there was a famous doctor many years ago, Fred Barge. He was a very outspoken chiropractor. He was I never met him. I think he probably died before I was ever. He died before I was a doctor, but he was would have this comment about the direction of modern medicine. And he would say, even rats know when to get off a sinking ship.
That's true.
So, I got to take it all the way back to your first question, which I never answered, which is, how did I get into this thing? How did it all
Yeah.
start? My mom's a nurse, right? So I thought she is what? A health expert. Why would I question that? So it turns out that that's not exactly what she was. That's what the society portrays her as. But she is a disease care expert. What's the difference? So I grew up thinking that health was this thing in the bathroom called the medicine cabinet. And you would open it up and there were all these different drugs. So if I was complaining about something, there was a drug for each complaint. It would make the complaint go away, but it would never get me healthier. Does that make sense? It never got me health. And, the reality is that when it comes to health, there's only one way to coast in life, and that's down. You're either building your health or it's going away. And I never got healthy. I just cared
Right.
for my diseases as they happen. And that is the difference. And then I met a chiropractor and I watched people's lives change. And I saw the fundamental difference, Rob, was not what they were doing, but the philosophy of what they were doing. They knew that there was a universal intelligence. Most people believe it's God, right? And they knew that your body was smarter than people were giving it credit for. And if you could work with that system instead of against that system, you could see miracles happen more often. And that's really where it started. And then I got exposed to something called applied kinesiology, which is the study of muscles, but it's applied where you use your body like a computer, your muscle like a keyboard, and you can get information physically, nutritionally, emotionally. The problem is, like so many other people out there, there's a lot of people on the internet doing things where they're pumping an arm and they tell you all these things about your body. That's not applied kinesiology. That's manual muscle testing used to sell supplements or predict lotto numbers or whatever people think they're doing with it, right? Like anything else, as a person of faith, there are people that take this book called the Bible and then they're out doing all kinds of things in what they call the name of God. Well, if you read the book, most people, what they're doing is they have their own editorialism or
Sure.
editorializing for
Yeah.
whatever their
This
ego,
is what
man-made
I want it
agenda.
to say, so that's what I think it says, right? You know?
So
Yeah.
it's the same thing. So I saw that you can do things physically, like we do something called quantum neurology, and with quantum neurology, it's neurologic rehabilitation where you can actually get your nervous system to turn back on, even when your average medical neurologist says it's impossible. We do things in the functional biochemistry world where you can test to get biofeedback on if somebody's deficient in something, toxic in something, or allergic to something, um, even before you see it on a lab test or in conjunction with their lab test, their blood, their saliva, their stool analysis, you name it. So that's cool to see real time what's going on. And then emotionally, we do something called NET, which stands for neuroemotional technique. Those are the three of some of the many things. And when people get it done, they say it's like 6 months of therapy in a minute. So every emotional event that's happened in your body is stored in your body, and there's ways to access that, find out where it's being stored, and get your body to release it. Looks wild, but again, this is the brilliance of how God made this body. And if we're touching half of 1/10 of 1% of the information that's there, then we're lucky.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That is so cool. I'm so glad that you went back to your origin story too. That's like so cool. This last question is a fun
Yeah.
one, just because can you share a particular memorable success story where someone found significant relief or healing through these methods that they're talking about, natural methods I like to talk about, and what do you think made the difference in their recovery?
Well, I mean, it happens every day, all the time here. We tell people to expect a miracle. Now, is everybody a miracle? No, not everybody's a miracle but here's what we know. We're helping people become better than they were if they did not do the things that we're showing them to do. And the reality is that, I mean, pick a day. Do you know what I mean? Yesterday, somebody came in and they came here from South America. Well, I'm in Orange County, California, and they've been working with this problem, actually, ironically, with their knee. And they've been never done anything. They had sciatica related to it. They were limping all the time. They thought there was no hope. Like many times, the average person who comes to our clinics has been to 14 doctors before they come. So, if someone's been to one or two, someone's been to like 20 something. And it's not that we're not their first choice because they don't always believe it. They just don't know it exists. And so we end up being people's last resort because it's 100% word of mouth. If you come to this clinic, it's 100% word of mouth. We don't have ads anywhere. And there's been a waiting list to get in here for like 30 out of the 34 years I've been in practice. So obviously we're doing something right, and people come and they're not coming because their insurance pays, because it doesn't. I mean, they might get reimbursed, but that's a medical game. So let's just think it's health insurance. There's only medical insurance. That's its own podcast. So,
We
but
could go
with
down
that
lots
case,
of rabbit holes.
and here's the cool part. It's a semantic thing where we're testing muscles and saying words, and the body picks up the frequency of what we're saying. And we could trace out an emotional event that's triggering them in their life, that they're storing in their knee in that case. But we can find out where it comes from. What's that significant emotional trauma that happened when they were 2 or 5 or 12? Well, with this person, we found out something happened when they're 7 years old. The best part about it was that she didn't even speak English. We brought an interpreter. Words are vibrations. So it doesn't matter if they don't know what juice works on dogs, cats, people that don't speak English, because words are vibrations. The same thing with, like, how does a patch work? It's a frequency. So they're picking up the frequency. We're able to find out. I had an interpreter there. So her daughter, who told me exactly what she said happened to her when she was 7, because you put your body in the state where it thinks it's that age. We figure out what it is. We have her think about it. She holds a couple of points. We tap on her spine along these meridian points, and she gets up and walks with zero pain. So
What?
0. I mean, the whole
That's
treatment
awesome.
took 4 minutes maybe. So,
That's incredible.
but
I
it's not
love it.
what I did. It's not the tapping. See, I can hit my keyboard right now on my computer, but if my computer's not on and I'm not on the page I'm trying to do it right on, nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen. So it's really dialing into God's keyboard, the computer, and finding out what's the virus in the computer. In that case, it was, emotional. Somebody came in today, they had a physical thing. And so their thing was They had broken 6 ribs with a sea-doo go or a jet ski go through the side of their ribs, punctured their lung. I mean, there was 4 post-concussive events off of electric bikes and scooters, and they had a neurological thing going on. They lost their taste, they lost their smell, they couldn't turn their neck, and they had positional vertigo. All 4 things were better in like 20 minutes using quantum neurology.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So you're just
awesome.
resetting the nervous system. The smell was coming back. They could taste before they left the thing. Now, not everybody's that dramatic. Some people,
Yeah,
take
right,
time.
right.
But
But
why I use
still,
those
just
stories is
listening.
because they're fresh, and
Yeah.
your body can do amazing things.
Well,
Yeah.
that's so much fun. I mean, I bet you just love what you do, right? I mean, it's just so exciting. I love what I do with
Yeah.
this company with our patches. See, because when somebody comes, calls us and says, "Hey, I've been had pain for 10 years and nothing's helped it," and then but you've used your product, your skin patches, and guess what? The pain has gone away, and they're just like, "I can't believe it." It's just so gratifying, right? And you get to do that every day. That's just so cool.
Rob, there's no better feeling you'll ever have in your life than someone else's life being made better because you had an influence on it. So, I mean, we're blessed to be able to do it. The fact that you can monetize and make money, and support your family, your life, and be able to give back to your house of worship and all the things that you want to do to make that circle of love keep going is it's a blessing. So, and our goal is to show people that, anybody can heal. And we try and connect it with doctors, awareness. But really, at the end of the day, the word doctor comes from the Latin word docere, which means to teach. The goal of a doctor should have always been to teach you how to take care of yourself so you're not dependent on doctors.
There you go. I
Right?
love it. One of the funny stories of me is my wife likes to go to bed watching the Waltons, and so we'll sit there and watch the Waltons, and a lot of the stories are related to health and or a doctor and or Mary Ellen becoming a nurse. So
That's great.
it's just but it's just so funny to see the origin of how medicine was so innocent, and now how strange it has become. And everything that I'm trying to do with this message and with this podcast is to let people know that your body, if you're driving down the road today and you're listening to this, your body is amazing, right? Just think about that. God made you incredible. You woke up today with breath in your lungs, and there's a reason for that, right? He has a plan for you, and your body is amazing. And so just start learning how you can take care of it, and find people like Dr. Cohn, and listen to me and listen to these things that we're trying to help you with, and you're going to be able to transform your pain and your body naturally and faithfully. That's why we call this the I Am Pain Free podcast. Naturally and faithfully, because we want to do things the way God intended. So. Anyway, Dr. Cohn, I literally want you back many more times because we could dig into so many different areas. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you so much for taking the time today. But we are going to sign out. Anything else that you want to say as a parting goodbye to our community?
I would say this: just believe that there are no incurable diseases. There are only incurable people. If you want to get better, you can get better. Don't take your foot off the pedal. Keep it on the pedal. If something that was supposed to work did not work for you, there's something else that will work for you. Do not give up. And, that answer could be right around the corner. We tell people when they come here that they're going to get better whether they like it or not. Meaning, like, if I can't help them, one of my doctors can. If one of those doctors can't, we're spidered out 1,000 clinics around the world that do all kinds of crazy things, even crazier than what we do, and all kinds of different cool products, therapies, and treatments, even like the stuff you're doing with your patches. I mean, all these things, everything plays a part. There's a tipping point. The more you do, the more you stack these therapeutics on your for your body to free it up to work the way it was supposed to, the better chance you have to heal.
I love that. So that's what's most important is how do people get in touch with you, right? So if they're super excited about what they've heard today, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, they could always call the Cohn Health Institute, or they could go to the cohnhealthinstitute.com. It's COHN healthinstitute.com. I'm on every social media, I'm sure, at Dr. Howard Cohn, Dr. Howard COHN, on Instagram, Facebook, all those things. Definitely on Instagram. Yes. And so we are here to help, if not help personally, help as a resource for you to get where you need to go with your health.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you listening to this podcast. I appreciate everything you do. So make sure that you know and share this information. Right, there's a lot of people that that are going to want to hear what Dr. Cohn has had to say, and now you know how to get a hold of him. So make sure that you do. So with that, we're signing off from the I Am Pain Free podcast.
Awesome.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.